Hi, my name is Antoinette Linton. I'm an adjunct professor at the University of Southern California in the School of Education. I went to Lincoln Preparatory High School and graduated top of my class and ended up going to San Diego State, where I achieved a cell and molecular biology degree. From there, I decided to go into teaching. And I attended San Diego State School of Education and received a single subject credential in biological sciences and integrated science. And I taught in Chula Vista for 5 years after that with a predominantly Hispanic population. As a current adjunct professor at the University of Southern California, I am enjoying my writing. I'm enjoying collaborating with colleagues and really concentrating on growing my career, because I'm in the very beginning of my career. From a very early age, your skill set equals how much money you're going to make. Your skill set equals how many opportunities you're going to get. And every opportunity in school and out of school was, for me, an opportunity to gain those skills. So even going to church was a way of gaining confidence. I sung in the choir. I interacted with other youth. I asked elders questions because I understood that by doing this, I grow myself. In understanding that the information I was learning was a part of me, I was aware that every time I learned something, I was transformed in a way. I walked into second grade not being able to multiply, and I walked out being able to multiply. And I understood as an 8-year-old that that's a change and that no one could undo that change. And that kind of leads into the second characteristic that I think I have, is the ability to know where I can get information from and be humbled enough to ask for that information. I think I was very lucky in having a particular disposition to know that elders have a treasure chest of experiences that I can learn from and not have to go through the pain of learning it. Motivation for me is a complex paradigm. Not only is it rooted in my family history and my valuing of my family, but it also allows me to recognize when I see those family characteristics in others who can further me along. And also there's a sense of passion that underlies motivation. I'm not motivated to do things that I'm not passionate about. So I'm passionate about poetry and writing and reading and expanding myself. And so that passion weaves into everything that I do. And it's also a component of the passion that I have to do and grow a certain way. So motivation to me is a cross-section between wanting mentorship and being led by elders and the passion to do the things that I'm motivated to do. Courage to me is the ability to sit through fear and still be able to make decisions and act on those decisions, even in the face of your knees knocking. Discipline to me, the traditional form of discipline, I think, is part of the mythology of meritocracy. That sense of pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I am not a person who kids myself about how others support me. I think that I benefit from that support because I have an innate joy when I do certain things. And those certain things stem from a love of growing intellectually. I am the quintessential intellectual. I love to read, I love to write. I think I was teaching my stuffed animals when I was 5. So early on I knew what particular activities brought me joy. So for me it's about that harnessing that joyful, excited, elated feeling when I'm doing something I know I love to do. And then weaving that into everything else that I do. So I sound like a scientist most of the time when I talk. I sound like a teacher when I talk. I sound like someone who's always zenned out, because those are the things that when I interact with those materials and think about teaching and learning and growing spiritually, those are things that bring me joy. So I just weave them into the conversations. I weave them into my human interactions. It's all around me. And in that sense, you harness joy and you harness the discipline that you seek. Yeah, it becomes a natural part of what you're doing because you can see it. So if I was a basketball player, I would weave in the fundamentals of basketball and the end goals and the techniques, and I would think about historical successful basketball players and study them and figure out the patterns that they used and see those patterns, actively try to seek those patterns of success. As a teacher educator, my job is to teach teachers how to cultivate that passion and joy. One of my fundamental sayings to my graduate students is that students should leave your classroom feeling more phenomenal about themselves than when they came in. To summarize my trajectory from an 8-year-old in 2nd grade looking out at the world and wondering what's going on and what's going to happen to me, to an adjunct professor at the University of Southern California, I would say that there were core qualities that I have that allowed me to make sense of my journey. One is from listening and being able to recognize when wisdom is being passed on to me. Lead by your joy and passion and study it. Find out about yourself, not what someone else is telling you, but actually sit still long enough to feel what makes you tick. So get to know yourself well enough to know what you're passionate about and what you're joyful about. And at the end, motivate yourself and find motivation in others by finding mentors and people who can guide you. One of my good friends says that she's a leader and an elder, and she motivates herself by doing the things she feels like an elder, a Shatu Shetty, as she says it, wants to do. And she doesn't want to leave this planet not touching people and not feeling that she's made an impact on people's lives. I would like to leave you with this thought. You are not alone. You are a member of a greater, grander community, and it's up to you to become aware of those people who can help you through this journey. So please remember that you are phenomenal and that you can do this. Don't worry about what other folks are doing. Find your joy, find your passion, find people who are willing to support you. You can do it.